Good morning and welcome back to the channel. So in this video, I want to talk about confidence and certainty in decision making and why I have the strategy that I do. And I'm going to break it down and go over things that I have a very high degree of confidence in and things that I have little to no confidence in. So that's what this video is going to be about, and talking about the other factors that are going on that are causing so much chaos and confusion, not just in the crypto market, but just in society as a whole and in the global economy and the total picture here. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, so do your own research and make your own decisions. Okay, so if you look at everything that's going on, we have health situations, we have mandates, we have the Fed potentially imploding, we have geopolitical conflict, we have the potential dollar collapse being replaced by the digital yuan or something else. There's just a lot of different things going on, right? The threat of some type of nuclear conflict, lots of things that are happening right now. And it's very difficult to be able to focus on the thing that's happening and kind of exclude all the other false narratives, propaganda, and scare tactics that are being thrown at you or thrown at me. So I fall back to the thing that I have the most certainty on. And I guess until something happens, you can never be 100% sure that it's going to happen. But I can say with about 99.999% personal confidence myself, this is my opinion, that this is the new system and that they're implementing it right now. Unless I've completely lost my mind and everything that I'm seeing doesn't indicate that that's happening. And the fact that the people in charge have told us that that's happening. And despite all of that, I may be wrong, but I feel like I have a 99.999% certainty that this is what's happening and this is the new system and they're implementing it right now. So I want to talk about things that I have little to no certainty in. What's going to happen with the global economy? When it's going to actually crash? When the crypto market's going to move? Tops, bottoms, geopolitical conflict. I can hypothesize and speculate on what I think is going to happen. And sometimes I do if I have, any degree of confidence in what I'm saying based on my own research. New health situations that come up, right? Mandates. What happens with the government? What will be the catalyst that starts all of this moving? So I have little, and I could list out a number of other things here as well, but I have little to no confidence in here in these specific areas. And when I talk about when the market moves in tops and bottoms, I'm talking about more short term, 2, 3, 4 months in that time frame. So I have very little confidence and certainty in what me being able to predict any of these situations. So if I have no confidence and no certainty in being able to predict tops and bottoms and being able to know when the market's going to move, when they're going to plan to do X, Y, and Z, when they're going to plan to dump the market, if I have no confidence in my ability to predict that, and I don't, just being very straightforward with you, and I think that for the most part, most everybody else doesn't either, right? I mean, if you can find me somebody who's been spot on with everything in this market, let me know. I mean, let me know, because we are living through times of mass confusion and mass deception. So if I have no certainty at all in my ability to predict those things, but I have the highest degree of certainty possible in the fact that I know this is the new system and that they're implementing it right now, that leaves me with really only one rational, logical approach to this market, and that is to accumulate and to hold no matter what, and to not try to jump in and out of the market because I have no confidence in my ability to predict tops, bottoms, when the market's going to move, so on and so forth. But if I know this is the new system, and if I know that they're implementing it right now, in my personal opinion, then that really leaves me with the sole, I would say, approach to the market of buying, dollar cost averaging, accumulating, never panic selling no matter what, when prices are at a level that I feel like is a good buying opportunity based on their all-time high, their market cap, use case, functionality, all these other things. When I see that as an opportunity as far as where the price is, I'm going to continue to buy. Okay, so jumping in and out of the market and timing tops and bottoms is out of the question for me, because I'm not going to make decisions on things that I have very little certainty and confidence on. So that's why I'm ruling that out completely. If you have more confidence and certainty in your ability to do all that stuff, best of luck. I mean that sincerely. But because I can openly admit that I do not, I'm going to make decisions on things that I have high certainty and high confidence in. And these are the only two things that I feel very certain about. And outside of that, I think anything else is up in the air. Okay. For all I know, China could be running the world in a few years. We could all be, the digital yuan could be the new global reserve currency. We could about to be going to a geopolitical conflict. They could dump the market by another 10 to 15%, or they can crank it through the roof tomorrow. Okay, I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen with this, with new health situations, when the economy is going to collapse, all these things. So I'm not going to be making decisions on that because no confidence, right? So some key points here. The people in charge have a plan for how they are going to do this. I don't think anything is being handled on the fly. Everybody's talking about this meeting with the Fed and they're going to do this and that and the other. Guys, this whole entire, everything that we hear on the news, everything that we hear on crypto YouTube, for the most part, is built on false narratives. They have to lie about this. There's no way of getting around that. They have to lie. They cannot tell the truth about what's going on and what this is. If they did, it would create mass panic. So all of these conversations, all of these narratives are happening under false pretenses because they are not telling the truth about what this is, where it's going, and what's happening right now. So if all those conversations are happening on false pretenses, I'm not going to become emotionally invested anymore in any of these conversations. If it's not happening on, if they're not presenting all the information, I'm almost, excluding their opinion and their input as far as my own decision making and how I'm viewing certain things. Because again, it's all built on lies. Everything is built on lies. This whole show that we're watching, whether it be on mainstream media, whether it be on crypto media, crypto YouTube, whatever it may be, it's all built on lies. They are not telling the whole truth, but they're simultaneously pushing FUD here, there, and everywhere. So, and again, this is almost just how it has to be. If everybody came out and told the truth about everything that was happening in this space, there would be mass panic to get as many people would trying to be rushing into this market as possible, and money would be moving all over the place. And they have to prevent that from happening. The way that they prevent that from happening is they spread just enough FUD to keep just as enough people confused to where a situation like that doesn't happen. So they're going to keep people confused all the way up until it becomes clear and they tell you this is the greatest thing ever and you should just treat this like your 401k and you should just continually dollar cost average and allocate a certain percentage to your crypto portfolio every week, every 2 weeks, whenever you get paid. So they're going to do it. They're going to keep people confused all the way up until the point to where they say that. Nothing is happening by accident. Absolutely nothing is happening by accident. There's nowhere to go. They have no other options. Okay, money has to go somewhere, and this is going to get into the false narrative conversation. But money has to go somewhere. And what have we seen over the last few months? We've seen tons and tons and tons of institutional money coming into cryptocurrency. If you leave, you'll just have to come back. You're just going to, and probably in short order, okay? Like everybody's coming over to the new system. Everything's going to be done on top of the blockchain. If you're already here and then you leave, you're just going to be coming back over. So you should really ask yourself, how much confidence do I have in my ability to predict when the market is going to move and what tops and bottoms are? And if your confidence level is very low, I would just, me personally, I'm relying on the things that I have very high confidence in, which is only, this is the new system and it's being implemented right now. If adoption continues, price will follow, mirror the big money. Okay, and this is something I want to mention. Retail has a very, very arrogant mindset, in my opinion. And again, this may seem hypocritical coming from me because I'm sure I come off as being arrogant, but I'm just following the big money. Okay, as far as my investments, as far as when I'm buying, if I see accumulation happening, I'm going to keep buying. If I see big money coming in, I'm going to keep buying. If I see that billionaires are not panicking and they're just buying and accumulating and they're not panic selling, I'm going to follow the big money for some reason. Do you see all these narratives that are happening in retail? They're not happening with the big money. They're not happening with institutional investors. They're not sitting around talking about bear market one day, bull market the next day. Maybe I should sell. Maybe I should get back in. This is solely a retail thing. This is a retail phenomenon that's happening because, in my opinion, they control some of the biggest names in the crypto space, and they push certain narratives intentionally to create a particular result. That's just my opinion, but I think that it aligns pretty closely with what we're seeing. So I'm just mirroring the big money. It's retail. Retail is the only one that's trying to believe that they can outsmart the big money. They're trying to do the opposite of what the big money's doing. Much of retail is. And last point here, they'll do whatever they can to shake you out of this market. I've been saying that for a long time, and I'm going to continue to say it because they will continue to do this all the way up until the point to where they get on TV. They tell you this is the greatest thing ever. It's going to save the world. It's going to solve the climate crisis. It's going to solve inequality. It's going to just improve everything. And this is the answer to all the world's problems. But until that point, they're going to try to fudge you out of the market. False narratives. So as opposed to me listing off all of them, and I did list some down here, I'm going to say it again. There's only one thing that is net negative. From here on out, there's only one thing that will be net negative for crypto. And that is the central banks around the world quickly figuring out a solution, implementing that solution, getting people back to work, and dramatically cutting government spending. This will never happen. That's why they created a new system. All these talks about the Fed's going to do this, and the central banks are going to do this and that and the other. What are they also doing? They're also adopting blockchain technology rapidly and rolling out CBDCs, which are married to blockchain technology. So they're doing that at the same time. So there's not going to fix the old system. That's why they created a new system. Okay. So, and that's what we're watching right now. So they're not going to do this. So every single thing, despite what stupid people on the internet and on the media tell you, everything that happens is net positive for crypto. An economic collapse is net positive for crypto. Global conflict, net positive for crypto. Continued money printing, net positive for crypto. Okay, and even if they stop money printing, what are we going to see? We're going to see the stock market meltdown. We're probably going to see the housing market meltdown, and that's going to leave very few places to go with available funds for large investors outside of crypto. So everything other than this first scenario is net, from here on out, is net positive for crypto. And even if they wanted to fix the situation, they couldn't, because it's past the point of salvage. So, and they know this, it's intentional, and that's why they created the new system. That's my opinion. All right, so, all right, Evergrande, the Fed tapering, regulation, economic collapse, inflation, bear market, and this whole conversation about a bear market, this is so disingenuous for this reason. The price of Bitcoin is not predetermined to do anything, period, despite what past patterns have happened. And the reason I can say this with certainty is because if $20 billion if one of these large financial institutions were to drop $20 billion into Bitcoin, or let's say that several different ones were to drop 20 billion each into Bitcoin, okay, the price is going to go vertical. And despite whatever narrative is happening, despite if we're supposed to be in a bear market, despite what the TA says before that, if that amount of money comes into Bitcoin, it's going vertical. So it will be built off of supply and demand and buying and selling and other macroeconomic factors. So when people want to say that it's just predetermined because this is top and now we're just going to sit at 20K for 3 years, it is a false narrative. It is being pushed out under false pretenses. So at any moment in time, a big bank, a big financial institution could put down 10, 20, 30, 50 billion dollars, and the price of Bitcoin would go vertical. However, in my personal opinion, they are planning how they are going to go about doing all of this, how they are going to go about accumulating so they can keep the price as low as possible, because they do not want to jack the price through the roof right now. If they did, they would have already done so. So just understand that all these are false narratives. They're all dumb narratives that are being pushed out by people who are not being honest about this space, whether it be the media, or crypto YouTube. All of them are pushing false narratives. And if they're not telling you the whole picture, which none of them are, again, this is all built on a lie. This is all built on a lie. So, it's too often I get caught up in those type conversations that are not being had in good faith. They're not being had in good faith because they're not telling the whole truth about what's going on. So I go back to the things that I have the most and really the only certainty in. This is the new system. They're implementing the new system right now. So if I come to that conclusion, which I have come to that conclusion, I only have one legitimate sensible approach to the market, which is buy, accumulate, dollar cost average, never panic sell, no matter what happens, no matter how far they dump the market, never panic sell under any circumstances, continue to accumulate, continue to do my own research to find out new opportunities about different investments, new technologies, and that's it. Because I can't predict tops and bottoms. I don't know when the market's going to move. I don't know what's going to happen with these other factors. So I'm not going to make decisions based on things that I have very low confidence in. So that's my video. Main takeaway, make decisions on things that you have high degrees of confidence in, whatever that is. And you might have high degrees of confidence in other things, and that might lead you to making different decisions than what I make. Perfectly fine. You know, do your own research, make your own decisions. But what I would say is that, you know, rely on the things that you have the most confidence and the most certainty in when you are making decisions specifically. So that's all I have for this video. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research, make your own decisions. Thank you, everyone who has liked, share, and subscribe. Take care. Have a good day. I'll see you in the next video.